So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your favourite internet disappointment, Optical, back with a video on this Forsaken website. And this one, I'm going to be literally giving a review that's probably going to be my last review of Silent Hill Ascension. This is the first new entry in the Silent Hill revival, which is what they describe as a community-driven interactive web series. And spoiler alert, there is nothing community-driven about it. So let's get into it. Silent Hill Ascension was first introduced to the world at the Silent Hill transmission on October 19th last year to the fans who had been waiting patiently after 10 years for a revival of their loved horror franchise. The last time fans waited for something this long Silent Hill related was for Silent Hills after the PT reveal, but yeah, you all know how that went. So you'd think after 10 years and after a literal internal studio reboot at Konami that maybe they'd be willing to change their ways of microtransactions and try something new. No. This is pretty much still the same Konami right now. You see, in this system, it's not so much a community-driven event. What it really is whoever has the most money to spend points on and use those points to drive the narrative of the canon will also get a cameo. Their character will get a cameo. Now, what do I mean by whoever spends the most money with the points? Well, here's basically what happens. You log into Silent Hill Ascension, you make your account, and you do have a chance to win some free points, but you get sweet FA with the points. The way you get the most points is by spending any amount of sum of money to get a bunch of points, and then you use those points to make a decision, and you try it, basically get the community together with you. These points are known as influence points, and it might be the dumbest way they've handled this in the history of mankind. You see, not only is Silent Hill Ascension a 6-month-long interactive web series that is a microtransaction-fueled Black Mirror Bandersnatch, but they also have a season pass. A season pass for a web series. You heard that right. Make that make sense to me. Genuinely, why is there a season pass in a web series? I generally will go as far as to say that Silent Hill Ascension would have been better as one of Konami's old gambling pachinko machines. I ain't joking with you, this is bad. There is an element of gambling in this because you're spending a large amount of money on these points to then use to change the narrative of the story, whereas someone could then throw in their money, could have more than you, and then they used their points. So there's still very much a gambling element in this. And they've sneakily hidden it as a competition kind of, who has the most points wins. You also get to open up these chests that are all depending on how many points you spend on the episode. And why? Look, I know Netflix is a really crappy company that doesn't like paying its actors and writers fairly, but at least they didn't make a web series where you had to pay to make the decisions. You may have paid for the streaming service, but you didn't pay for episode decisions. Konami wanted to revive a, quite frankly, dead horror franchise, and they sat down, got all these IPs together, and they generally thought the best way to kick this thing off was a microtransaction web series. I'm gobsmacked at this. You would have been safer launching Silent Hill 2 Remake first, then doing Townfall, then doing Silent Hill F, and then doing the Ascension, because at least Ascension would soften the blow, right? At least Ascension, people would be angry, but not as angry, because you had hopefully 4 banger Silent Hill titles, 3 or 4 bangers. I just don't know why they thought this was good, because this actually makes me scared for the future of the Silent Hill titles should they still go ahead, because who's not to say that they'll do campaign but then they'll throw in microtransactions where you might get a weapon or something, or you might get little things that can happen in the game. What were they thinking? And that's just what I'm going to leave this as. This was a terrible idea. This was a middle finger to the Silent Hill fans, and quite frankly a middle finger to everyone who enjoys online entertainment, because this isn't it. This is flat out a gambling series, and I think that Konami should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. It seems that luckily the community is really ripping this apart, and I'm glad that this is getting pushed back, because this is a fundamentally flawed system that they've got in place. You shouldn't be having to spend money, the most money, to have an effect on the canon. It should be a community decision, like you said, not whoever has the most points. That's not a community decision. You look at Fortnite, they do community-driven events, but they don't say whoever has the most V-Bucks gets to decide how the Rocket event ends or how any in-game event ends. It's all about audience participation, and you are not engaging in audience participation if you're relying on those with the most amount of money. Not only is the transaction system flawed in Silent Hill, but everything else about it is too. This doesn't feel like a Silent Hill experience. This feels like something that is trying to be it. It's generally terrible. The voice acting, the direction that they've given the voice actors is also terrible, because I'm sure that the voice actors do have talent. And there's some lines that they do deliver very well, so I can tell they have talent, but the direction that they are given is freaking terrible. And may I mention that the fact that all the characters are pre-made metahumans, like all the human characters in this are pre-made metahumans that they just change the clothes of. That's it. Add that to the fact that they use pre-made metahuman animations for like some of the moments. So everything is thrown together here. I refuse to believe it's taken this long to make a project like this. I don't know anymore. I think that Genvid should be ashamed of themselves, and I think Konami should be ashamed of themselves. That this is the first thing they start off with, and it's the way they've gone about it. Adios, people. I hate it. I hate it all.